back to my channel, guys. How you doing? How are you guys? Welcome back again. We're talking about Big Brother Niger and all that went down during the show. So we are still on to the Big Brother Niger game reunion show. Yes, guys, we're still on to that. So Big Brother Niger reunion day 3 was a fun-packed, fun-packed one, guys. It was really fun. For you to see how relationships or friendships that were formed because of a mutual animosity over one person. You can see how that relationship breaks. So that's what we're going to talk about in this particular live stream. As usual, guys, it's late and I don't really want to show my face, but you can hear my voice and we keep it rolling as it should. So welcome once again. I just want to do a quick sound check to see if we are really live and if what I'm saying you can hear. So bear with me, guys. You're welcome once again to my channel. It's me, your girl, Fosti Onyim, and you're welcome back to my live stream. Welcome, guys. So let's just get right into the video. So the today's today's story started with Ebuka asking Zita about that her massive crash out when she was attacking Doris, Sultana, and Big Soso, calling them the three witches. Guys, I hope you guys can still remember that incident. Zita, the person that was always calm, collected, and sometimes minding her business, all of a sudden she had that massive crash out, calling Sultana, Doris, and Big Soso that they were the three witches, insulting them that they have the guts to be gossiping about people behind their backs. But when they are in the presence of those persons which they have gossiped, about, they try to act as if they are all cool and all that. So Ebuka was asking Zita why she had that crash out. So guys, from time to time, I will be looking into my notes and bear with me, guys. So Zita's fight about the gossip. Zita's fight about the gossips. That's Sultana, Doris, and Big Susu. So Zita, at that point mentioned that Doris and that her three witches, they were calling Dede Sanpepanyash. Remember that these three women, they were very, very intimidated by Dede. I will say that and I will continue to say it. Dede came into the house with a different type of class on her own. She was in a class of her own. And most of the guys were drooling about Dede. So these three girls, they merged up together and they were saying most of the vile things about Dede. This was a girl that never gossiped about anybody in the house. Dede never did that. Dede never gossiped about anybody, and she didn't even entertain gossips near her. So these three girls were just antagonizing Dede because Dede did not give them the time of the day, and Dede was classy, and most of the guys were, going after Dede. So I think that they were really jealous of Dede. And what could they do about it? They were gossiping. That was when they even called her Sandpaper Nyash. Sandpaper Nyash, I don't understand. What do you mean by Sandpaper Nyash? Dede is slim. Do you expect her to have an improper body fraction? Let me just use that word for lack of better word. So Zita is just, was talking. So Sultana said she did not trust Zita about telling her stuff about other people. that because Zita always tries to intrude when they were talking amongst themselves. And when she intrudes like that and hears anything, she will now start taking it out to tell them. So Zita was saying that this particular story, she didn't hear it from them. She heard it because Tracy told her that these girls, that is hypocritical how these girls are behaving, that when they are in the presence of other people, they pretend as if they are nice people, but behind those people's backs, they gossip, vile gossips about them. You understand? So Tracy was even trying to defend herself and saying all that, but in essence, Sultana was just trying all she could, explaining without making sense. Tonight, Sultana was just explaining without making sense because she was saying that she did not trust Zita because Zita was, listening on her conversations. Tracy too will listen on her conversations, and anything that she hears, she quickly take it and tell Zita. And they were just saying a lot of things. Zita is of the opinion that if they did not like her, then they shouldn't smile in her face hypocritically. So when she found out that that was the way they were, operating in the house, they will see this person, they will gossip about the person. When they get in the person's face, they will start to smile, doing as if they're nice with the person. But behind the person, what they say behind the person is different from how they behave in front of the person. And that was hypocritical. So Zita was saying that she did not like that at all. She did not subscribe to it. That was why she legitimately crashed out on them and exposed them. That was even when we found out that these girls, that was when other housemates found out that these girls were doing the most in the house. So moving on, Ebuka now decided to address the pee issue. Remember that this pee issue of Sultana urinating in Dede's box was a real major issue during that season. It was surprising that an adult, Sultana, will just open the box of her fellow housemates and pee inside, saying that she was drunk. It's really, really surprising. So Sultana's thing that time, let me just refresh our memory for those that do not understand what we are talking about now. When they got into the house and these other girls started talking bad and trash talking about her, that was fueling animosity within them. So Sultana have been trying how to get a rise out of Dede, but Dede, being the classic person that she is, she just maintained her steez. So Sultana, after a Saturday night party, she said she was drunk. She was acting as if she was drunk. And she wanted to go use the bathroom. She wanted to urinate, pee. Where the place, the bathroom, was totally different from where the boxes were kept upstairs. Sultana, in the guise of her being drunk, singled out Dede's box, opened the box, peed in the box and on the floor around the box. Hey, guys, up to today, I think that Sultana did that to get a rise out of Dede. Because when they found out that they were not in the same league with Dede, they were trying all means to at least get a rise out of her. Maybe she will react so that they can evict her or something. I don't just know her plans. But she did not like Dede at all. Dede was like a competition to Sultana. And Sultana was the one competing. Dede was not competing with her. So when Ebuka asked her about this, Sultana said she doesn't remember. She doesn't remember. Then it now fueled the fight between Sultana and Doris, because Sultana was upset that Doris, who she took as her friend as at that time, was the person that went and exposed her to the public. You know that the viewers, we did not see that situation. They did not show it to us. How we got to know was when Doris went to the diary room during her diary section, and then she just opened up about everything. So Sultana's anger with Doris is that somebody that she called her friend, somebody that she called her own ally, was able to do that to her, to expose her to the world like that. So Sultana was not having it at all. On Doris' part, Doris said she was angry. And her reason for being angry was that when that P incident happened, she was the one that cleaned up Sultana's mess, because some of Dede's clothes in that box were soiled. So they had to wash it that night and also clean up the surrounding. And Sultana did not even thank her for what she did for her. So that was Doris' anger, that you messed up, I helped clean your mess, and the following day you cannot even come say thank you for me cleaning up your mess. So with that anger boiling in Doris, she went for her diary section and she used that opportunity to vent and release all the whole pent up anger. You understand? So Sultana says she was disappointed with Doris because that friendship was done. Immediately, Doris exposed her to the world like that, and that she did not know the extent of that exposure until they got out of the house. So Doris, when trying to explain, she was just calling Dede, she was saying it in a way as if maybe she was not trying to look out for Dede. And then I liked how Dede spoke up that, come on, you guys should take me out of your mess. When you guys were, conniving together, gossiping about me, you did not put me in that mix. So why should now your reconciliation be about me? That when they're discussing their issue, they should stop mentioning her name, calling Dede as if maybe they cared about her, that they did not care about her right from the beginning, that they disliked her for reasons best known to them. So I liked how Dede cleared them. I really liked how she cleared them, because it became pretentious how Doris was now acting as if she was the better person, as if she was looking out for Dede. Come on. Doris said the vilest things about Dede in the house, all because she wanted Kola for herself while Kola was chasing after Dede. And that was how resentment grew. That was how resentment grew, because Dede did not do these girls anything. Dede was on her own lane. She did not gossip about them. She did them nothing. But they just saw this young girl, and to be fair, they are older than her. So they just saw this young girl and they just disliked her for reasons best known to them, because they were jealous. That's the only thing. They were jealous. So Coin, when Ebuka asked him about what he felt about that peace situation, Coin said that Sultana was actually drunk that Saturday night, that she was drunk. And Ibu Fubara also seconded that Sultana was drunk. But if you are drunk and you were able to single out your opponent's box, because I will use that word opponent now lightly, because she was the one that was fighting, and Dede was not fighting her. So she was able to single out Dede's box, open up the box, be in the box and around it. I don't think she was that drunk not to know what she was doing. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Put down your thoughts in the comment section. Put down your thoughts, guys, in the comment section. So Dede said she believed that peace situation was really planned. And it was planned maybe because they wanted, or Sultana wanted to get a rise out of her. But it just doesn't make sense to her that why was it only her box that was singled out and peed into? And why was her box with her box that was not close to the bathroom at all in any way, the only one that was singled out and paid into after she has been hearing side gossips from her. So it was just a big mess. Sultana was not having it. She and Doris really had a huge fallout, insulting each other. She was calling Doris the dwarf, as in, those two girls. I'm happy that at least their plan failed. Imagine people coming together just because they hate someone and they got close based on their mutual animosity over a girl that did nothing to them, and coming out now to find out that the friendship did not last, because that kind of friendship built on that premise, it will not last. It's not going to last. So now they are not fighting each other. They are not fighting each other. Sultana says she does not remember the P incident. So, according to Sultana, she's still holding on to the guns that she does not remember. Remember in the house when Biggie asked her about this in her diary section, and when other people were asking her, and even when Ebuka asked her, she has always maintained that she did not remember. She's putting up the front that she completely blacked out. Someone, you're so drunk, you completely blacked out, you singled out your enemy's box and peed inside it, and you are still completely blacked out. You cannot remember what you did. Come on, guys, that's really crazy. I don't believe it. So she said, Tostana said she did not remember and she has already apologized to Dede. Dede said yes, she accepted Sultana's apology, but that doesn't mean she's going to forget. She can't forget it. So moving on, K Bobo was asked about his fight with Mensan. K Bobo and Mensan, they were always at loggerheads when the show started initially. They were always at loggerheads. According to K Bobo, he said he was suspecting Mensan because anytime that his food is missing, Mensan is around the place or something like that. And he got upset because he was the one that was practically cooking in the house. So when he cooks the food and dishes out, and it's time for him to take his own food, he finds out that either his food his portion is reduced, or he cannot find his food anymore. So that got him upset. So Ebuka was asking him that why was it always Mensan that he was suspecting? That what is it about Mensan that he was suspecting? So K-Bobo, he was just talking. K-Bobo, he didn't give much content in the house. So he's just boring like that. And, K-Bobo and Mensan, I think their issue stemmed from when Mensan decided to buy the fight of Coin. Earlier in the show, Coins when Jason J was the head of house. So they made an arrangement that K Bobo should be in charge of the kitchen cooking, and that anybody that wanted to cook anything should let them know. That was the structure they put in at that time. So Coin wanted to make noodles then, and K Bobo told him that no, he should not make noodles. And Coin said, "What do you mean I can't make noodles?" So they had that back and forth. And before you know it, K Bobo mentioned something like, "Shey your papa gets this place," or something like that. And Coin, remember that incident that Coin blew out of proportion? He was not crying and making a big deal. To me, when I saw that incident that time, when I watched it, I was like, come on. K Bobo didn't say anything so bad like that. Yeah. But Coin, I think he wanted to create some sort of highlight for himself during that period. So he acted that way. It's quite understandable. When the show just starts, everybody wants to, cement their names and their faces in the viewer's mind. So I understand that part. So Mensan then called K Bobo a bully because of how K Bobo was advancing on Coin and all that. So Mensan, called K Bobo a bully, and to some extent that name wanted to stick on K Bobo, and he tried all he could to rid himself of that name, because tagging him a bully would have really spoilt his game, although he didn't give much of a game in the house. but K Bobo still tried to remove that tag of being a bully from his name. So K Bobo said he apologized to Coin because he felt that, as he mentioned, shey na your papa get this place. Coin misinterpreted it as if he was being insultive to his father, and he did not mean it that way. That was why he apologized to Coin. But Mensah had already bought the case because, like I said, each housemate is trying to create highlights for themselves. So Mensah, seeing that situation, in pretended, will I say pretend now? Okay, let me just use it lightly. Let me use that pretend lightly, the word lightly. So Mensah, seeing the issue and altercation between Coin and K Bobo, decided to use that moment to create some sort of highlight for himself, and he started challenging uh, K Bobo as if on behalf of Coin, as if he was pretending. Let me just use that. He was pretending as if he was fighting for Coin. Meanwhile, if you look at the undertone of actions of housemates in the Big Brother house, you will find out that most people like to create highlights from themselves. Remember, even Thelma. Thelma is that kind of person that she never had direct issues with people except for Isabella. She was always inserting herself, buying people's fights, and that way creating some sort of highlight for her own self. So I believe that that was what Mensah was doing in that moment when he was fighting for Coin. Moving on with Ebuka talked about Ibifubara and how she was flirting with Bright Morgan in the earliest days of the show. Oh my God. So Ibifubara and Bright Morgan, they were getting close some sort of way. Will I really call it that close like that? You know, Bright Morgan liked Mide when he saw her. So he was trying to talk with Mide to, kind of date her or something like that in the house. And still, Mide had not given him the go ahead. She was still assessing him. But Bright Morgan, while still talking with Mide, he was also talking with Ibifubara and flirting with her on the side. So Ebuka was just asking her about that mix, that Ibifubara, you knew that Bright Morgan and Mide were just starting up something, and you inserted yourself in that mix by flirting with Bright Morgan. So what was that all about? So Ibifubara then said that it was nothing that special. It was just because Rude Boy had asked her who she had a crush on. Then she mentioned that it was Bright Morgan. And Ibufubara said she was just catching cruise and it was just all vibes. And Bright Morgan was also reciprocating because they were, being freaky with each other. And she mentioned the situation where Bright Morgan was saying that he knows the color of the underwear she was wearing. So they were flirting that way. And I'm like, come on. What do you people mean by this? So Ibufubara exposed that. And I was like, girl, if I were you, I would not say this word, though. Because as she mentioned that, she became embarrassed, for her mentioning that Bright Morgan said he knows the color of the underwear she was wearing. I said, from where to where? From where to where, guys? So according to Ibifubara, they were just flirting like that, and she did not think she owed Mide any form of loyalty, because if at all that was to be expected, then Bright Morgan should do that. He was the one that owed Mide that loyalty. So Ebuka moved on to Mide and asked if she was worried about that situation with Ibifubara. So Mide said no, she was not really worried like that, and the only worry she had was that she liked Bright, but she was also, still observing him because of how he was flirting around initially. So she only continued being in that mix with Bright Morgan because she liked him, and if she did not like him, then she wouldn't have done it. So that's what Mide said. Bright Morgan, when he was asked his own, he was saying, that Ibi Fubara is taking it out of proportion, that he did not really like Ibi Fubara like that it was all just jokes, that he was not interested in Ibi Fubara, and he had already told Ibi Fubara that it was Mide that he liked. He was kind of denying it because he acted he was acting embarrassed. Bright Morgan, guys, Bright Morgan is just a case. Remember, Bright Morgan came into the house and he said that he had a girlfriend on the outside. What on the street and with what the girlfriend later put out was that she was the one that funded Bright Morgan's coming into Big Brother's house. So that was why she legitimately crashed out when she found out that when it was being shown, because it was aired, why not? When it was aired that Bright Morgan and Mide continued in that their relationship. Remember what Bright Morgan and Mide did? To me, I felt that they even knocked in the house safe, if we are going to be honest with what we saw. So Bright Morgan, I don't think he's that guy that is really big on loyalty, because if you had a girlfriend before coming into the house and within few weeks you were already with another girl, Mide, in the house, and still flirting with Ibi Fubara, and sometimes even Thelma was in that mix, because there was a way he and Thelma were behaving. I really suspect those people. I really suspect that. And even with what's her name again? Isabella. Something, something, was kind of fishy between Bright Morgan. Guys, Bright Morgan was just acting, he was just acting weird in the house. To be honest, guys, he was just acting weird. So he's not the guy that presents himself as someone that is very loyal, that is big on loyalty like that. So moving on, Ebuka then asked Bright Morgan that he told Mide that he had a girlfriend on the outside, and how did the thing with Mide happen? That was it planned or not? So Bright Morgan said no, it was not planned. He came into the house, he already had a girlfriend. He told Mide that he had a girlfriend, so he did not know that anything would materialize from what he had with Mide in the house, and that it just happened, that it was not planned. So with all the whole things that his ex-girlfriend had put him through and has embarrassed him about in public, that relationship with his ex-girlfriend is done. So he's no longer interested in the ex, and he and Mide is now in a good place. When Ebuka was trying to push for that, if actually they are dating or in a relationship, he did not want to specifically say. He just said that he and Mide was in a good place, and Mide too seconded that. Then Ebuka asked Kola about what he thought about their relationship. So Kola said he is friends with both Bright and Mide, and he supports whatever they decide to do. If they want to be together, he supports them, whatever their decision would be. So Bright Morgan and Mide, it's safe to say that maybe they are dating. Maybe they might be dating, who knows? We'll keep our fingers crossed and watch that space. So guys, this is mostly what happened today on the day 3 reunion show. So it's mainly just talks here and there and all that. The only highlight for me was Sultana and Doris when they were going back and forth, and I was really glad that that friendship has been severed, because you cannot come together and become friends because you are antagonizing somebody else. Just you came together as friends because you have a common enemy, and you expect that that friendship would last. Never. That friendship cannot last. So that it is it for me on this live stream, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Put down your thoughts, your opinion in the comment section. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think that Sultana and Doris should still, come back as friends? Or do you think that that ship has long sailed? And do you think Dede carried herself well in the house? I think she did. I think Dede carried herself well in the house, because even in this reunion, at least for these 3 days we are watching, she has also maintained that class. to show that maybe she was not really faking being classy. Dede is classy. And that was the reason why these other women could not understand her, that someone that is that young but still has the sense to comport herself in a good, sensible way. That's why they were all jealous of her. And for Ibi Fubara and Bright Morgan, Ibi Fubara was embarrassed. Imagine. So that was what was happening. No, that was what was happening. Guys, let me just end this particular live stream. It's late and I want to go to bed. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, guys. I really like when you thumbs up the content. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, share if you like, and take care of yourself. Have a good night rest, guys. I'll see you in another one. For now, bye bye, guys. Bye, guys. Take care of yourself, guys.